Welcome to the Binge Dietitian podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Sumner, registered dietitian, focusing on helping men and women end binge eating, end food guilt, and finally say yes to life. This podcast is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not substitute for medical and personalized advice. Hi, my name is Jonathan, the Binge Dietitian. In this short podcast, I'll talk about what to do if you just can't seem to let go of losing weight. Surrendering to your weight loss goals is one of the greatest factors to stop binge eating, because when we chase weight loss, we continue physical and mental restriction, which are the binge eating triggers. As I mentioned in the second episode, it can be one of the simplest ways to stop binge eating for good, yet it can also be one of the hardest things to do. You may be wanting to lose weight because it may feel like you'd fit in better in society. You may be liked more, you may be accepted more by others, or you may not be bullied anymore. You might be thinking, Jonathan, who are you to tell me to stop thinking about weight loss? You don't know what it's like. You are a normal body size, and what I have to say is this. You're absolutely right. I do not know what you've gone through. I do not know what has caused you to chase weight loss, and I don't know your personal story with weight. Society tells us that if we just lost the weight, that we would be more accepted, or at least to not stand out in a crowd. What doesn't help is when we see friends and loved ones try to lose weight, as well as to chase this goal of being a lower body size. Because if other people are doing it, you might as well join the crowd, right? Weight loss is so ingrained in us. And we have so many advertisements, such as magazines or articles online saying things like, explode with confidence this summer with this weight loss program, or shed those pounds and be the best version of yourself. This is exactly what weight loss companies try to do. They prey on people's insecurities because peering into people's emotions is what gets sales. When we buy weight loss products, we are essentially a sale to them. A statistic rather than someone with individual needs, someone who has a much more complex life rather than a person just lacking that simple solution to all our problems, which can be solved with simply a purchase. You may be trying to reduce your weight for health reasons. Your doctor or your health professional may be constantly telling you that you need to lose weight for your medical condition to get better. And that can be so difficult and confusing when you need to stop thinking about weight loss and to start eating regularly, which includes snacks in between meals to stop binge eating. Well, the guidelines for binge eating recovery states that weight loss is not recommended in binge eating recovery, as it's just putting a bandage over a wound. The key is to heal your relationship with food. But the balance can be so difficult. If you're in binge eating recovery and you're still chasing weight loss, then it is still going to cause you to binge later on. It'll be a never-ending cycle of restricting, then binging. Here are 3 questions I would like to ask you, and I'd like you to think about if you can't let go of losing weight, and when you have doubts, thinking about whether you should continue to diet or to start eating regular meals. Number 1, what has happened for you to start to feel fed up trying to lose weight? Are you sick of starting new diets and binging at some point during the day, only for you to start again? Are you sick of trying to weigh yourself in the morning, only to see that the number has gone up, only to find out your whole day is now ruined because you start to see yourself as a failure and your worth is found on the scales? Maybe you might have children and your little girl or boy found you weighing yourself and they start to think whether they should start weighing themselves. Maybe you don't want your children to have the same experience with food as you did. You may have been brought up in a household where you have to finish every single food in your plate before you can have dessert. Or you shouldn't leave any waste because, of course, there are other people starving in other countries. So we should be grateful, you may have been told. So I want you to think about your whys and why you're not losing weight. Maybe you truly are in the binge restrict cycle and you're in this trap, and the only way to get out of it is to start rebuilding your relationship with food, eating regularly, restoring your hunger hormones. And this leads me to number 2. Where has trying to lose weight led you? You may have been on every single diet under the sun, but it kept leading you back to where you were. Maybe you found it so difficult to follow, or maybe it was too restrictive. You may have had moments where life has just gotten a bit too much, so you resorted to having a takeaway to relax yourself, only for you to find relief and comfort, then followed by guilt and shame, knowing that you're a failure, when you're only just simply trying to cope with the stress in life. How long have you been trying to lose weight? Has it been weeks, months, even years, and still no difference? You may be hoping to find that one solution that fits in with your lifestyle, but have you ever wondered just why nothing is working? Has it ever popped into your mind briefly that binge eating may be taking over your life, your goals, your relationships, and joy from your life? And number 3, what has trying to lose weight cost you? I want you to think about this. What has trying to lose weight cost you? You may have spent so much money trying to buy weight loss kits, or treadmills, or bikes, or meal prep services, and that may have led you right back to where you were. You may be thinking, how do people do this? This is just so difficult. But aside from thinking what trying to lose weight has cost you financially, what has trying to lose weight cost you socially and mentally? Have you been invited to a dinner with your family, only to be served that delicious family favorite meal as a kid that you've always known and loved, only for you to find yourself now hating that food because it has too much calories, and you now associate your favorite food as sinful or a guilty pleasure? How do you think your family feels now that you're restricting and refusing their meals that you've always known and loved? Because of dieting, do you start to have this worry that people who are serving you delicious meals are secretly sabotaging your goals? Have you been invited to dinners with friends only for you to find yourself telling them that you're busy, when in reality you would love to go, but you've checked the menu before going to that restaurant or that cafe, and you saw that the calories are a bit too high, and this will just delay your weight loss goals? Summertime comes, but you may have not wanted to go out in the sun or in the beach because you promised to your friends and to yourself you would get that perfect beach body, but you haven't fulfilled that goal. So you stay in, or you don't want to go out as much. You may have taken photos in the beach or out on holiday, only to find yourself disgusted with how you look. So you start to delete the photos. But do you really want to forget those memories just because of your weight? How many pictures you wish you could have looked back on, wishing you can get back if you weren't so focused on your weight? I want you to think about all the memories you missed out on because you were chasing weight loss. All the months or years of memories that could have been so joyful and comforting if dieting wasn't something you never chose to start. I also want you to think of all the future memories you could make if dieting was not an issue, binge eating was not an issue, guilt eating was not an issue. So in summary again, here are the questions I'd like you to ask yourself and to ponder on when you think that you can't let go of losing weight to stop binge eating. Number 1, what has happened for you to be fed up with trying to lose weight? Number 2, where has trying to lose weight led you to? And number 3, what has trying to lose weight cost you? So, when I say that you need to put your goals of weight loss aside, I'm not saying you should never think about weight loss again. What I am saying is that in binge eating recovery, you need to refocus on regular eating, regular meals, without restriction, to regain control of your eating and to unlearn these disordered eating habits of skipping meals, guilt eating, and trying to make up for what you've eaten. Will you gain weight? Maybe. But also remember, where has trying to lose weight led you to? And what moments and what memories would you gain? This may be a moment for you to finally take back your life and to be free from binge eating. Forgetting about weight loss will only be temporary until you no longer have worries about binge eating. Here's the thing I want you to consider. Until your relationship with food improves and you're finally free from binge eating, then you can choose to lose weight again in the future. It is important to know that if you want to go back and diet and choose to lose weight in several months or a year's time, nobody's going to stop you. I'm not going to stop you. Your friends and family or colleagues aren't going to stop you. It's important to know that weight loss or your goals of weight loss isn't something that is being banished for good and you should never lose weight again. If I say that you need to stop weight loss for good, then this is just going to commence this all or nothing mentality and make you crave weight loss even more, which can in turn lead to a binge. So that's that episode. And if you're looking to improve your relationship with food, I also offer one-to-one consultations in my website, bingedietitian.com, or alternatively, you can head straight to the links in the description of this podcast. So thank you for listening to this episode, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys. If you found this podcast helpful, you would definitely benefit from my binge eating freedom course in my website, bingedietitian.com. Learn more about the triggers to why you're binge eating and how to stop binge eating for good. No more food guilt, no more jumping from diet to diet, and no more shame. Go to the link in this episode for my binge eating freedom course to be one step closer to being binge free, starting today.